Brad Canyon reporting live for the CVC here in Kansas City, and with me I have a seasoned veterinary professional. What's your name, sir?
Dan Shoup.
And how many years you been practicing?
31 years.
31 years. I think you are the record holder today. And we're talking about something called diversion. If I said diversion to you, could you define that in your own terms?
Certainly. That means the sale of veterinary products that are only supposed to be sold on prescription by a veterinary professional being diverted to a company who sells them without the appropriate channels.
Now you're saying appropriate channels and a lot of other things that I don't quite understand. So why can't I buy these things online? Why is it bad for me to just purchase these products online?
Well, there is a little thing called a veterinary client-patient relationship that you're supposed to have before you sell pharmaceuticals. And a lot of these companies are going around that by either having their own veterinarian contact you to get a prescription or actually ignoring the prescription process.
Okay. In your years of experience, would you say that the visits, the amount of visits that people are making to their vet are dropping?
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. And is this by a large percentage in your experience?
It just chips away every year. It just seems like a little bit more every year. Mm-hmm.
Now, we've been speaking to a lot of people who suggest that the pet med industry is potentially becoming an all-online industry. Do you think that's possible?
I think it depends on your clientele and how well you have your clientele, as I should say, how well they like you, how well they trust you. You have a lot of people who never want to go to the veterinarian because they don't want to spend the money. And of course, these are your number one people that are going to go for online pharmaceuticals.
Now, we've been talking to a lot of people, and obviously money's a huge concern for a lot of people. If I'm buying my products online, I'm obviously saving money up front, but why is that bad in the long run?
Well, your pet may be harmed by some of these products if your pet is not healthy enough to take them, just like some people shouldn't be taking products that they may get from friends or relatives. And also, if these companies, if there is a problem, then your veterinarian or the referring veterinarian, the emergency clinic, isn't going to be familiar with what you're doing because you're dealing with an outside source.
Right. So you're suggesting take your pet to a vet?
Well, of course.
And you're also talking about something, you're talking about trust between a client and their patient, and that's something that's deteriorating in this industry. And would you find in your experience that people are bringing pets to you and doing more emergency treatment than preventative care?
They would like to, yes, and we try to steer them away from that, but of course, you know, it's some folks do, some folks don't.
So in your opinion, your expert opinion, how can we combat diversion? How can it be stopped?
Well, that's a good question, because what you're dealing with is, of course, the capitalism profit motive that these companies have. They want to make money. They want to make it any way they can, and even though they say that that's not going to happen, as it always is, the money talks over ethics, and that's what we're dealing with. So I wouldn't have a clue how I could stop it.
Would you suggest price matching from a veterinary perspective?
You can try, but then again, if I have to hold inventory, okay, so I've got to buy this inventory, set it in my clinic, and then sell it. That has to cost something, as opposed to buying it online where these companies don't have the brick and mortar to support. So it's going to be very difficult for veterinarians to compete with these other companies. We try. We tell people we will match online prices, but sometimes you'll be amazed how cheap these things are sold. I've had cases where they're actually buying products online for less than we can buy them through our distributors, which is really disturbing.
But again, it's important to reiterate that people who may be saving this money up front are potentially doing harm to their pets and their bottom line.
It's potentially true, yeah, it sure could be.
Well, thank you very much for spending your time with us today. We appreciate your perspective. And ladies and gentlemen, Brad Canyon reporting from the CVC. Go to stopfatcat.com for more information.